Good evening. My question to you this evening is, can pain and growth be separated? So, on pondering upon the word growth, the words that came to mind were words such as inception, pregnant, gestation, but the fact that we have the word pregnant. Pregnant with what? Pregnant with ideas, pregnant with hopes, dreams, desires, passions, fears. So, growth were the words. What were those words for me? Pain. Pain. According to Iyanla van Zandt, she's an author, she says pain. She uses it as an acronym. Pay attention. Inside now. Pain is this unpleasant, it could be a sensory or emotional condition. It could be acute or it could be chronic. With pain, can pain and growth be separated? How do you grow through pain? How do you grow in pain watching your mother being diagnosed with dementia? How do you grow in pain knowing that you have been deprived of an education because of the color of your skin during apartheid? How do you grow through the pain and the trauma of being separated from your children because you need to go and work? That was my grandmother, Caroline Regina Melshir Fredericks. Can pain and growth be separated? How do we, in this prison of drama, trauma, and with the absolute transformation through this journey of negativity, this journey of fear, self-doubt, self-berating, how do you grow through that? How do you fuel yourself through that prison? So, talking about my mom, my mother, how did I grow? You see, the synchronicity for me is pain and growth. My mother, how did I grow? My mother, I had to watch, listen to the fact that she was diagnosed with dementia. How do I observe? How do I grow through this process? There's pain. Am I really growing? The beauty of this was that I learned patience in the immense state of helplessness. May I add, not hopelessness, helplessness. I grew. I had to stand. I had to pay attention inside now. The trauma of my childhood, the past, this woman, dynamic, Shirley Melshir Fredericks, now cannot retrieve. Me watching her, hitting her head because she cannot retrieve the words that she wants to share with us. How do I stand and watch this? Where is the synchronicity in this? Growth, pain, growth. So, when we look at this, we see there are ways and means which we navigated our way through this. You see, my mother, let me tell you a bit about my mommy. She was feisty. She was determined. She was a single mom. She reared 2 children, and you knew exactly where she stood. She was strict, but she had taught us values. Again, within the context of apartheid. Here I have this woman who has been dynamic, who has been a stalwart, who is now looking at me with childlike wonder due to memory failing. How can growth can pain be separated? Again, I would like to suggest that there is synchronicity between the two. So, I want to share something with you. My mother loved parties. Believe you me, didn't matter when, through all this, before she had dementia, she made sure every year she had a party. Believe you me, if we wanted it or not, we were there. And I also have to tell you, she was the soul of the party. My friends used to tell me, is your mommy going to be at your party? I'm like, really? Yeah. So here you have this woman who loved parties. Her birthday, when I asked her, so she was in a care facility, and I said, Mommy, it's your birthday soon. Is it? I said, yes. So when is your birthday? She said, the 2nd of July, 1946. I said, that's right. It's your birthday in a few days. What would you like? Says to me, a party. Obviously, she loved a party. The dementia didn't affect that. So she had a party. We organized a party for her. But you know the way we navigated ourselves through the situation of pain? The growth is that we used humor, and laughter became our navigation tool through this absolute maze of memory loss, of what do we do, not knowing where to go, moment by moment. So we decided we're going to organize a party for her. Obviously, this is my mother's humor. The day of the party, after the happy birthday to you and hip hip hooray, and everybody is saying, you know, happy birthday, Auntie Shirley. I turned to her. I asked her, how old are you today? People with dementia, as much as they forget, there's a skill that they have. I believe they have some teacher channeling through them. They throw the question back at you. I don't know. How old am I? Now my mother, when I told her, that photo is exactly there. When I told her, Mommy, you are 78 years old, without skipping a heartbeat, she looked at me and says, absolutely not. I'm not 78. I think dementia has its merits at times too. So, that is my mom. So how do we grow through this? I really learned such a deep compassion, patience. I always joke and say, be careful if you pray for patience. A deep compassion, and more so, I really had to go deep and go and forgive her. Because now I'm sitting before a woman who has now become a child. Growth, pain, can they be separated? Psychologists say that they refer to this as saying, through adversity, so the situation with my mommy, mirroring that, through adversity we grow. Erik Erikson is a psychologist, and he says that we all go through distinct life stages. And through those distinct life stages, what are we doing? We are going through challenges so that we can face this pain and the growth so that it can shape our purpose and our resilience. Now, this beautiful author, her name is Oriah Mountain Dreamer, and she wrote the poem, The Invitation, and I would like to invite you to go on a journey with me with her. You see, this poet suggests that you and I need to be fully present in the pain and in the joy. She says, it doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know if you and you and you can touch the center of your sorrow and not be shriveled by life's betrayals. Are you open to that? Or have you become shriveled and scared, afraid of more hurt? She also says, can you and you sit with me in my pain, yours or mine, without trying to fix it or trying to hide it. She wants to know from you if you can see the beauty in everyday things, even when the beauty is not pretty. Pain, growth, synchronicity. Now, Ecclesiastes says there's a time for everything. My mother passed away. Oh, it's still difficult to say that. On the 10th of August last year. So, the time to be born, a time to die. A time for mourning to turn into dancing. A time for weeping to turn into laughter. A time for brokenness to be able to turn to healing. The scars that we wear, those scars through the pain, those are the scars to show the battlefields that we had traversed through. Growth. Pain, growth, synchronicity. So, last but not least, allow me to refer to this beautiful insect, referred to as the Lepidoptera, the humble butterfly. Oh, she's beautiful. She goes through a metamorphosis. What does she start with? She starts by being an egg, then a pupa, cocooned. She goes through the process of being in a chrysalis, and then she's got to go through this growth where she needs to come out totally wing by wing. Do not help her. It's going to be death to her. Let her be. It is her journey. Spectacular she comes out. And in this moment, I want to remind you that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. The process, this beautiful butterfly, her transformation in solitude, the joy of silence, the joy of solitude. I want to encourage you today. I want to ask you today to sit with pain, to sit with pain, to sit with pain. You see, there is beauty when you show up. When you show up to sit in that pain, the only thing that can happen is that you can grow. This beautiful butterfly had to go through a process of solitude, had to go through the process of doing her thing. And the joy of when she comes out of that pupa, through the chrysalis process, through the metamorphosis, she is beautiful. So, today, I encourage you this evening to stand tall. And for those of us who are in pain and we can't stand tall, just stand. If you cannot stand, sit. I encourage you. If you're lying, that's also fine. But when you can stand, you stand tall in this moment. And I encourage you through the synchronicity of pain and growth. I encourage you, I implore of you, please celebrate growth. I thank you.